The moment the elevator doors slid open on the top floor of the Sterling Tower, the entire city of New York lay glittering beneath Christian Grey's private penthouse like a carpet of diamonds made just for him. He stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows, one hand in the pocket of his custom Tom Ford suit, the other cradling a glass of Macallan 25, watching the Hudson River catch fire with the sunset. Billionaire CEO, obsessive alpha male, possessive husband-to-be. Everything about him screamed power, danger, and the kind of dark romance that ruined women for anyone else. And I, Anastasia Steele, Ana to the few people who dared get close, was about to become the one thing he wanted more than his empire his. It started the day I got fired. One minute, I was a junior jewelry designer at Sterling Gems. The next, I was out on the street with a cardboard box and a broken heart. Rent was due, pride was shattered, and desperation tastes metallic. That's how I ended up becoming a private patient companion, basically a professional handholder for rich old men who were terrified of hospitals. My first client was a silver-haired gentleman recovering in the VIP wing of Mount Sinai. Sweet, lonely, and convinced he was dying because the doctors brought too many interns to check his chart. While the four dripped, he decided his life's mission was to marry off his workaholic son. "Let me introduce you," he said, eyes twinkling. "He's 28, 6'3", richer than God, and single because he's married to his company. You'd be perfect for him." I laughed. Perfect for a man who could buy the hospital we were sitting in? Sure. Discharge day arrived. I wheeled the old man into the blinding Manhattan sunlight, and there, idling at the curb like a black shark, was a Maybach Accelero with plates that read Grey 1. The back door opened. Out stepped Christian Grey, my ex-boss. The same man who'd fired me 3 weeks ago for being 2 minutes late with his coffee. The same man whose cold voice still echoed in my nightmares, Miss Steele. Punctuality is not optional. He looked at his father, voice clipped. "Dad." Before I could stop myself, pure devilish impulse took over. "Daddy's home," I chirped, throwing my arms open like a child greeting her father. "Come give your good girl a hug." Christian froze. His father blinked. The chauffeur pretended to be invisible. The old man recovered first. "Son, this is Ana, my favorite companion. And you, young lady, that's my boy." Stop teasing him. But I was already grinning like an idiot. If he wanted to fire me, fine. I'd already lost everything. Might as well have fun on the way down. Christian's storm gray eyes narrowed on me. Possessive. Furious. And something darker that made my pulse stutter. His father beamed. "Get in the car, both of you. Anna's coming to dinner. I've decided she's going to be my daughter-in-law." Christian's jaw clenched so hard I heard it. "She's mine to ruin," his gaze said. And I'm just getting started. The drive to his father's estate in the Hamptons was silent, except for the old man chattering about wedding dates and grandchildren. Christian's hands gripped the wheel of the Maybach like he was strangling it. Every time our eyes met in the rearview mirror, heat flashed, jealousy, ownership, promise. "She's mine. No one else will ever touch what belongs to me." The estate was pure billionaire fantasy manicured gardens, a heated infinity pool glowing turquoise against the night, a garage full of cars that cost more than most people's houses. Inside, crystal chandeliers dripped light over marble floors, and the dining table groaned under lobster, caviar, and things I didn't even know how to pronounce. Christian peeled shrimp for me with those long, elegant fingers, his knuckles brushing my plate every time. Deliberate. Territorial. When his father bragged that his son would give his future wife a 6-figure monthly allowance, Christian didn't deny it. After dinner, my arm started itching, seafood allergy apparently. Within minutes, I was covered in hives. Christian didn't hesitate. He scooped me up, carried me to the Maybach, and drove like a demon to the nearest ER. He stayed, held my hand while the four went in, glared at any nurse who looked at me too long. Touch her and die. By morning, the entire company knew their icy CEO had spent the night in the hospital with his fired ex-employee. Rumors exploded. By lunch, his father posted a photo on WeChat. Me laughing at the dinner table, Christian's hand possessively on the back of my chair. with the caption "Future Daughter-in-Law Approved." I wanted to die. Then Christian offered me my job back. Executive assistant. Triple the salary. Company apartment in Tribeca. Private driver. I said yes because I'm not an idiot. 3 months later, we were on his private jet to Paris for a jewelry exhibition. He booked only one return ticket, his. Mine remained open-ended. The presidential suite at the Ritz had one bed. That night, after too much vintage Bordeaux on the terrace overlooking the Eiffel Tower, I stumbled into his room looking for my phone. The door shut behind me. The lock clicked. He was fresh from the shower, black silk robe barely knotted, water still clinging to the ridges of muscle on his chest. His eyes, dark, dangerous, starving, pinned me in place. Ana. One word. A command. I swallowed. My phone. He stepped forward, slow, predatory. You fell into my arms drunk, baby girl. You pointed at my bed. You begged me to keep you. Heat flooded my cheeks. I did not. His hand cupped my jaw, thumb brushing my lower lip. You're mine now, little wife. And I protect what's mine. Then he kissed me. Not gentle. Not sweet. Acclaiming. Teeth, tongue, the taste of expensive wine and raw want. My back hit the wall, classic wall slam. His hips pinned mine, hard and insistent. When he tore my silk camisole open, buttons scattering like diamonds across the marble, I should have been shocked. Instead, I moaned his name. He carried me to that massive bed, laid me down like something sacred and breakable, then ruined me in the most exquisite ways. Silk ropes from his suitcase. His leather belt whispering across my skin. Punishment for every time I'd ever been late, every sarcastic word, every moment I'd belonged to anyone but him. Good girl, he growled against my throat as I came apart beneath him, trembling, marked, owned. Mine to ruin. Mine to keep. The next night at the gala, he won Best Design for a ring he'd created in secret. A 10-carat pink diamond surrounded by smaller stones shaped like begonia petals in the rain. He walked off that stage, past the gasping celebrity presenter, who thought the ring was for her, and knelt in front of the entire ballroom. On one knee, in front of the world. He slid that ring onto my finger. Ana Steele, he said, voice low and lethal and tender all at once. This is called begonia after rain. Because you walked through the storm and still bloomed for me. Marry me. Be my wife. Let me spend the rest of my life making you feel safe, cherished, and thoroughly, obsessively loved. Cameras flashed. Someone sobbed. I think it was me. I said yes. We married 6 months later in his Italian villa on Lake Como. Private jet, Van Cleef jewelry dripping from my neck and wrists, a dress sewn with real diamonds. The red room in our Manhattan penthouse became our playground. Silk ties. Ice cubes. His hand fisted in my hair, while I knelt for him on Persian rugs that cost more than most houses. He was possessive, jealous, dominant in ways that should have terrified me. Instead, they made me wet, made me his. 2 years of honeymoon-level obsession later, I was pregnant with our heir. He built an entire nursery in the penthouse overlooking Central Park, then another in the Hamptons, then threatened to buy an island if the baby needed fresh air. His father finally got the grandson he'd schemed for. The old man cried when Christian placed the tiny bundle in his arms. I kept my companion service, turned it into a company that helps scared patients navigate hospitals. Sometimes Christian shows up in the Maybach to drive an elderly client himself, terrifying them with how gently the scary billionaire CEO holds their hand. He still punishes me when I'm bratty, bent over his desk in the Sterling Tower, skirt flipped up, his palm printing ownership on my skin. Still calls me baby girl when he's deep inside me in the back of the jet at 40,000 feet. Still growls your mind every single night like a prayer. And every morning he wakes me with soft kisses on the inside of my wrist where his ring glints, whispering, "Good morning, little wife," like I'm the most precious thing he's ever stolen. Because I am. She's mine. Every breath, every moan, every heartbeat. Forever.